So we're here in Haysville, Kansas, and behind me is a much better than distressed rental house, one of the houses that we have under contract here in Kansas. And we're going to talk about some of the things that we've learned as you begin to incorporate new real estate strategies. What you want to be is the real estate solution person. And in order to do that, you've got to have different strategies and different ways of getting a deal through. And that's one of the big things you learn. When you come in with wholesale real estate, you're taught just the basics, and that's fine. And I learned the basics. You look for boarded up, vacant, just plain ugly houses. And then you call in front and you skip trace. So everything I've taught on these videos, and then you rinse and repeat. The issue is, as artificial intelligence has taken over how we deal with the real estate situation in many ways, that it's complicated everything with robo-dialers and everything going on. More of these people who are stressed. Remember, I've said that troubled homes equal troubled people equal trouble. Well, these troubled people have been marketed excessively. It can get pretty ugly in terms of responses and how beat up you get. So as a result of not wanting to get beat up, then you want to find lead sources. And we've been testing out lead sources for several months. Feel now that definitely have begun to dial that in just the last several weeks. So the strategy of looking at for boarded up, vacant, just plain ugly, calling, skip tracing, and then finding the people who are not on a lot of these lists and starting with them is a dated strategy. Not that it doesn't work. I will just say that it's dated. So we started to go with lead sources. And this is one of the lead source houses that we found behind me here in Haysville. And we found this through Go for Clothes, which I'll talk about in one of my videos soon. And this house is actually one of our, we put two under contract with the same seller. And this would look like one of his houses for sure. Very nice. Actually, this is nicer than the other one. You can see the kitchen here, and it's small. It's small, but this is either a good rental home or a good starter home for somebody. But you can see here, this owner has taken great care to keep these houses up. And we are going to talk in just a second with my Kansas partner, who is now moving into Tulsa with me, and who knows where else, because we're partners in making this happen. Here's the bathroom. You can see that. Okay. So this is a better than distressed rental. One of the things that we have faced here is a changing market. And as such, being able to move these houses has been more of a chore than we would have liked. Look at these old houses where you got to duck under the roof. Now this is the basement. Not built out. Well, this is nice. Could see this using for something. This is the room in here. Use this as a cellar in here. Storage, it looks like. Yeah, typical Stephen Bridwell house. He, at one time, owned 30. You're going to get a lot of these where the renters, 50. That's true. 50. You're going to get a lot of these where the renters are just tired of chasing rents, collecting things, and they're aging and getting older, and their offspring are not interested in doing this. And this is the case with two houses we have here in the Haysville area. There's another picture of this room here. Take a look at that. So yeah, this is a nice starter home. But I want to introduce you to my partner here. Come on in here, my partner.
Okay.
This is one take, so we got to do it right. Okay. And this is my buddy Justin Ward.
Howdy.
I met him in Real Estate with God. So, and you Real Estate with God people notice this guy. Here you go. We were in Kansas, have figured out a way to work together. Justin, one of the biggest things that we have learned together about the market out here, and maybe incorporating new and more advanced strategies to continue to advance things forward.
What we've learned actually is that the market has changed quite a bit. So the year to 2 years prior to this, you had a seller's market. Now you have a buyer's market. And so with the way things are, they're a lot pickier. And then when you get into homes like this one could use some upgrades, quite a bit actually. You see a lot of the paneling and things like that on the walls, even when you walk in the front door. Even though it has new carpeting and it is getting a new roof, it still isn't popping. And that's what people are looking for. They want to see it and really look, the upgrades is what they're really looking for. So it makes it a little more difficult at this point to sell, unless it's priced right. And that's the big key. Price cures all. So
I know somebody who said that.
yeah,
Our buddy Todd Dodson.
somebody
He's right.
said that. Yeah, exactly.
He's right.
100% correct on that. So
Yep.
that's kind of where it's all sitting for at the moment.
So we've held on to this house, and we're working with the owner. What we've done is leaned in on trust and rapport. And one of the things as you are getting into this business is you have to spend time with people and gain their trust. That is the case here. That's why we still have it under contract. We're still working to sell that. We've got another house that we're looking at, which is completely different in a little town, Eastboro, right? Kansas, exclusive area. Would it be kind of like the Beverly Hills of LA? Is it kind of the
Maybe it's been, it was an old little town for the elites, just east of Wichita, and then Wichita grew around it. So it's still its own entity.
It's pretty cool when you drive in there. Yeah. And we got a lead there, and that's through the lead services. And with the lead services, you're not going to get the boarded up vacant just plain ugly. You're going to get distressed rentals or better. And you're often going to get people who don't have to sell. Yeah. They want to if it's a good idea. Now, in the distressed, boarded up vacant just plain uglies, a lot of times those are estate sales, or they're people who are desperate. I've run into them, and they'll sell. But with the influx of AI and all things virtual, it really has changed how you attack these markets. In Eastboro, we got a lead, went and talked to them, and one of the things that has not changed is that you've got to lean into relationships, lean into people, and gain their trust. That's why we're still in the game here in Haysville. Tell me some of the things that we've done with the seller here in Haysville in terms of just gaining trust and staying in the game.
We've spent a lot of time with him. Being men of faith, we've prayed with him because everybody has issues and problems of one sort or another. So just a moment of prayer and to lift them up.
That made the biggest difference.
That makes a lot of difference when people know that you care.
Right, right.
They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Amen. I've heard that before.
And so that is very true. And it's just the fact that, yes, we are past the 90 days or 45 days due to the contract, and re-signed another one. But we're even going to go past that just because of the market here right now. So that's, you just gain and lean in on people and know them, and get to know them. They get to know you, as long as they know that you're not out trying to take them.
That's right.
Which is the biggest key here. So,
And we did that yesterday with Tristan and his wife. We spent over 3 hours with them.
yeah.
When frankly I could have been off doing several other things, but felt that that was a very good use of our time. And we are in line there to get a significant deal, particularly for Kansas. And what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate partners. And one of the things that we'll be talking about as we go on is collaboration, even more collaboration than I've talked about before, as I really leaned in to real estate and strategies. You have to up your game with diverse strategies, and you do that if you don't have the skill set yourself, finding people who do. And that's part of what we're doing, is finding people who do have a diverse skill set. So this house, which is a house that was owned at one time by a very famous aviator family, and then has been sold to daughter and then to these people, we want to lean in and find out how we can serve them and best advance what we're doing. So that's what we're about today. This is a short little video to remind you to lean in. Remember, you're 60% of the way to buying or to a sale. We typically use this in sales, but that's in fact what we're doing here and putting houses under contract. You're 60% of the way, gaining rapport and trust. That's what's kept us in the game here in Stearns, and that's what we're leaning on. 3+ hours yesterday to be along the road to putting another house under contract. So those are the important things to do. I look forward to sharing some more tidbits and videos as we go on. We'll talk to you down the road.